Hello and welcome to the MCAT Club. This is our weekly call for Monday, March the 10th, 2014. My name is Don Osborne and I am your host of the MCAT Club. And in case you haven't heard before, this is the place to go for up-to-date information about studying for the MCAT, MCAT prep, and I even answer your MCAT related questions live here on the call. You can find the MCAT Club at INQUARTA.com as well as on Facebook and YouTube, and I'm all over social media as well. So take a look around and don't be surprised if you see me there. As a medical school admissions expert and coach, I work with amazing students like you who really want to get into medical school, but you might feel stuck or uncertain about parts of your application process, and you'd like to understand how to package yourself as a strong candidate for medical school admissions. I promise I'm the most hopeful and encouraging advisor you'll ever meet because I work with you to make you a very strong and stronger candidate so that you can be the most competitive applicant you can possibly be. This last week, I got a call from a pre-med parent about combined degree programs. So I thought I would take a few minutes to talk about the main 4 combined degree programs and then share a little bit about each one. So let's begin. So the 4 main styles of combined degree programs are as follows. MD-PhD is 1, MD-JD is 2, MD-MBA is 3, and then MD-MPH is 4. So let's get into each one a little bit. MD-PhD is a combined degree program where you earn both your medical degree as well as a doctorate in an area, typically in an area of science, although it could be a non-science. MD-PhD is structured in a specific way. Different medical schools will encourage you to complete your PhD program at different times, but a typical example would be you spend 2 years doing your medical school education, and then you take a break, and before you get into your practical and clinical rotations in medical school, you stop and you work on your PhD, complete whatever training you need to do for that, as well as possibly do the research necessary in order for you to write your dissertation and create your dissertation defense. Once that's done, then you go back, complete your MD 3rd and 4th years, and then you go on to residency. So that is the MD-PhD. There is a very famous variation of MD-PhD called the Medical Scientist Training Program, or MSTP for short. The Medical Scientist Training Program is just a variation of MD-PhD with one important difference. That is that if you're one of the lucky few students who gets accepted into an MSTP program, you receive a very substantial stipend that includes your tuition for medical school, your tuition for your PhD program, and a modest amount of money to live on. So it's a very big privilege and quite a competitive process to go through and participate in MSTP. So you would think that there would be a lot of spots available for MSTP, but because of the funding, there really are very few. A rule of thumb might be 1, 2, 3, 4, or just 5 seats for perhaps maybe half the medical schools in the country per school, and that's the maximum number of seats that are out there for MSTP. So before you decide that's the route that you want to take, I'd look into it very carefully, research the MST programs that are available, and decide if it's right for you. Next, MD-JD. This is very straightforward. It's a medical degree plus a law degree, and different law schools have different approaches for this. I don't know by heart if you can save a year of a 3-year law degree by doing an MD-JD. Typically, for combined degree programs, you can save up to a year by combining them, but I don't know because of the nature of the 2 different degree programs if you're able to do that for MD-JD. A lot of medical schools do have combined programs with law schools. It's very typical for a medical school to combine with its own law school, but you may find circumstances where a medical school combines with a law school in the city or community where the medical school is located, even though the law school is not part of the same institution. So take a look at MD-JD programs and see if they're a good fit for you. If you are thinking about becoming a medical expert witness, that's one of the areas that you're interested in, or if you're working in an area of law and you're interested in becoming very skilled in the area of medical malpractice and so forth, then a combined MD-JD program might be a perfect fit for you. Next is the MD-MBA, and the MD-MBA program is a combined medical degree plus your Master's in Business Administration. Since most MBAs are 2 years long, I'd be surprised if you're able to overlap a year, but you might be able to with some MBA programs and save yourself a year. MD-MBA, I think, is a great combination for a lot of medical practitioners who see themselves running their own medical practice after medical school and after residency. It's a very big cliche, it's very famous that medical doctors are well trained in medicine, but not as well trained in how to run a business. So having the MBA background can be very, very helpful. And then finally, the MD-MPH, which is a combined medical degree plus a Master's in Public Health. And the MD-MPH is a nice combination, especially if you're looking to work at a citywide or regional or state or federal level in public health issues, working with departments of health, areas of epidemiology and CDC and so forth, where having both the medical training as well as training in public health and understanding how health practices on a large scale function can be very, very useful. Sometimes MD-MPH is also a degree that physicians seek when they're looking at the possibility of advancing their careers into administration for, say, hospital settings. And this may be an option for you as well. In my experience, most people who decide to get an MPH do it sometime after they finish their residency and they've gotten their medical practice off the ground. They have a good practice patient profile set up, and their offices are set up, and they're either working for somebody or working for themselves. And then they go back to get the MPH some years later. Okay, so those are the major forms of combined degree programs. I hope this was a little bit of an insight, get you started in thinking about combined degree programs for yourself. And if I can be of any further help to you, don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'd be glad to help. Have a great day, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.